Russia's military ambitions have become increasingly apparent in recent years. The Kremlin has invested heavily in modernizing its armed forces, showcasing its military capabilities on the world stage. This resurgence has raised concerns among Western nations, particularly in Europe, where memories of the Cold War still linger. As Russia flexes its military muscles, the balance of power in Europe and the world is shifting, demanding a closer examination of its implications. Russia's military modernization program, initiated in the early 2000s, has yielded significant results. New weapons systems, including advanced tanks, fighter jets, and hypersonic missiles, have entered service, enhancing Russia's ability to project power. These advancements are not merely symbolic. They represent a tangible shift in the military balance, particularly in Eastern Europe, where Russia's military presence has grown considerably. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine serve as stark reminders of Russia's willingness to use military force to achieve its geopolitical objectives. These actions have shattered the post-Cold War security architecture in Europe, forcing Western nations to reassess their defense postures and reevaluate their relationship with Russia. The world is entering a new era of great power competition, with Russia playing an increasingly assertive role. Understanding the capabilities and intentions of the Russian military is essential for policymakers and citizens alike as they navigate the complexities of this evolving security landscape. Russia's military intervention in Ukraine has come at a significant cost, both in terms of military hardware and human life. The conflict has exposed both the strengths and weaknesses of the Russian military, providing valuable insights into its capabilities and limitations. Despite suffering substantial losses, Russia has demonstrated a capacity to adapt and learn from its experiences, raising questions about the long-term implications for its military posture. The exact figures for Russia's military losses in Ukraine remain a subject of debate. However, it is clear that the conflict has resulted in the destruction of a substantial amount of military equipment, including tanks, armored vehicles, and aircraft. These losses have strained Russia's defense industrial base, forcing it to increase production and rely on older equipment to maintain its operational tempo. Despite these challenges, Russia has shown a willingness to absorb heavy losses in pursuit of its objectives. The conflict has also highlighted the importance of artillery and electronic warfare in modern warfare, areas where Russia maintains a competitive edge. Moreover, the experience gained by Russian forces in Ukraine is likely to lead to improvements in training, tactics, and equipment in the future. The war in Ukraine has also had a profound impact on Russia's defense spending. The Kremlin has been forced to increase its military budget to cover the costs of the conflict, putting a strain on the Russian economy. While Russia has so far been able to sustain its military operations, the long-term economic sustainability of its current course remains uncertain. Russia's military spending has consistently outpaced that of most European nations in recent years. This trend is particularly concerning given the disparity in economic size between Russia and many of its European neighbors. While Russia's economy lags behind those of major European powers, its willingness to prioritize military spending has allowed it to maintain a formidable military force. In 2024, Russia's military expenditure reached an estimated $145.9 billion, representing 6.7% of its gross domestic product. When adjusted for purchasing power parity, this figure rises to $461.6 billion, exceeding the combined defense spending of all European countries, which stood at $457 billion. This disparity in spending has allowed Russia to modernize its military at a faster pace than many European nations, particularly in key areas such as missile technology and electronic warfare. The reasons for this spending gap are multifaceted. Russia's historical emphasis on military strength, coupled with its perception of an increasingly hostile security environment, has led to a prioritization of defense spending. In contrast, many European nations have enjoyed a period of relative peace and stability since the end of the Cold War, leading to a decline in defense budgets and a greater focus on soft power. The consequences of this spending gap are significant. Russia's military modernization has shifted the balance of power in Europe, raising concerns among NATO members about their ability to deter Russian aggression. This imbalance has led to calls for increased defense spending among European nations, but it remains to be seen whether these calls will be heeded. Section 4. Europe's reliance, the U.S. arms dependence and the need for self-reliance. Europe's heavy reliance on the United States for military equipment has long been a subject of debate. While the transatlantic alliance has been a cornerstone of European security for decades, the dependence on U.S. arms has raised concerns about Europe's ability to act independently and defend its interests in a rapidly changing world. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has further highlighted the need for Europe to enhance its own defense industrial base and reduce its reliance on foreign suppliers. Despite increased defense spending in recent years, Europe remains heavily reliant on U.S. military equipment. In the year leading up to June 2023, 78% of Europe's €75 billion defense expenditure went to non-European suppliers, with 63% going to U.S. manufacturers. This dependence is a key vulnerability highlighted in the Draghi report, which called for a substantial increase in European defense research and development to reduce reliance on foreign technology. European defense R&D spending in 2022 was €10.7 billion, a mere 4.5% of total defense spending compared to the US's $140 billion, which is 16% of total spending. This disparity in R&D investment has left Europe lagging behind in key technological areas, such as unmanned systems and artificial intelligence, which are increasingly important in modern warfare. The need for greater European defense cooperation and integration has been recognized for years, but progress has been slow. The European Union has launched several initiatives aimed at boosting the EU military-industrial complex, such as the €1.5 billion European Defense Industry Program, but these efforts have yet to produce significant results. Section 5. The military-industrial complex, Russia's economic engine and its limitations. Russia's military-industrial complex has played a pivotal role in the country's economy for decades. It has been a major employer, a source of technological innovation, and a key driver of economic growth. However, the over-reliance on the military-industrial complex has also created structural imbalances in the Russian economy, hindering its diversification and leaving it vulnerable to external shocks. The Soviet Union's collapse in 1991 had a devastating impact on the Russian economy, including its military-industrial complex. Many factories closed, and skilled workers were laid off, leading to a decline in production and technological capabilities. However, under President Vladimir Putin, Russia embarked on a path of military modernization, breathing new life into the defense industry. The resurgence of the military-industrial complex has been fueled by a combination of factors, including increased government spending, arms exports, and technological advancements. The defense industry has become a major source of employment, particularly in regions with limited economic alternatives. It has also driven innovation in areas such as materials science, aerospace engineering, and information technology. However, this reliance on the military-industrial complex has come at a cost. It has crowded out investment in other sectors, such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure, hindering Russia's long-term economic development. Moreover, the dependence on arms exports has made Russia vulnerable to fluctuations in global demand and geopolitical tensions.